All right, so we made it to the last week. This is it, right? We got the one little last stretch. The semester ends on the 15th, so any assignments that you want to turn in to me, make sure you have them in there. So if you look at your grades, you can check those out. So these are the grades for the test student. These are the pathing assignment, music icons. If you fixed up any of your stuff, you can drop those in there. Make sure that I know that you've updated them so that they're just not hidden in there somewhere. Make sure you've turned in at least something for these. Like if you only got the character half done, some points is better than no points at all. So make sure you do get those assignments in. Make sure you did your discussion board things. The last project I went over was the infographic. And then our final project is the TearSheet stuff. So I'm going to go over that in a second. There will be, where is it? We have a mid-semester survey that was extra credit. We will have a final survey that will also be extra credit. That's not listed yet because it's not active. But once it's active, then you can take that once everything's done. It's an extra point, so it's definitely something you should take advantage of. Make sure all your daily drawings are loaded where they need to be loaded, and that should be it. Okay. If you do have any questions, obviously ask me before the 15th, because that way you can get an answer in a quicker time than if you waited until the 15th to do that. All right. So TearSheet. So what is a TearSheet? There we go. So a TearSheet is basically just a collection of your work that you would typically hand out. And these things are great because if you wanted to show someone like what you're capable of, you make a TearSheet and you can give them this one sheet of paper that would give them basically a sample of your work. Okay. So for this Mark Lopez guy, he has several different pieces that he's drawn. He has a scan me thing here. And then he has some email and web addresses you can go to. Here's some more, okay? Now, for us, because this is an introductory to Illustrator class, we're just putting all of our work into a TearSheet. And it's a good way to kind of reflect back on the semester to see all the stuff that you've done and have basically one spot. This becomes really helpful when you start doing things like your portfolio, like when you graduate and you have a portfolio and you want to create it. You can basically go to your TearSheets and look at your stuff and see, like, here's all the stuff I created from this class. Are any of these portfolio worthy? Are any of these worth like working on further to enhance and make them work? Okay, so new document, we should be past that by now. This is going to be an 8 by 12, so 8 inches by 12 inches. It's going to be 12 inches wide, 8 inches high. CMYK and create. Okay. Now this one does have some layout just to make sure it's nice and neat. You'll see I have some guides set up. These are a 1/2 inch from the sides. This is a 1/2 inch from this side, a 1/2 inch from the bottom, and a 1/2 inch from here. Okay, that way everything looks nice and lined up. And that's one of the things you're going to want to always have. We have 4 of our assignments that were square or can maintain square. The character we did as square, but we're just going to resize it to fit a 4x5 area. Okay, you can put a border around it, to whatever. The character will fit fine inside that area. So you're just going to make a box that's 3x3 for music icons, logo design, Zentangle, gradient mesh, infographic, vector poster, character, and pathing. All right, so I'm going to go to, let's say, my pathing here first. I'm just going to open it up. And I'm going to grab everything inside here. You don't need the background layer, so it should be locked. So if it isn't locked, make sure it's locked or just hide it. Then just going to grab all of this. Control G to group it. Control C to copy it. Go to this layer. Control V. Oops, make a new layer first. Control V to paste it. We'll call this pathing. And then this will fit snugly right there. So I hit E, and then I can scale it down. Now, mine isn't exactly that size because I actually did mine in a different format, but yours will fit perfectly inside that box, okay? Because you did yours at the exact size that would fit in here. I did it on a older size, so no issues there. Leave it like that. What else do I have? Music icons. Open those up. All right, cool. All right, that's everything. I don't need guides, so I typically like to delete these guides. We don't need those because those will copy and paste and group, and it's stupid, but it does it. Whatever. I'm gonna grab everything. Control G to group it. Control C to copy it. Go to my template. Make a new layer. Paste it. Music icons. And why did my background come in? See, that's where you have to be careful because I think I may have had, yep, see I had that layer locked. I didn't like that. Let's try it again. Grab everything. Control G. Control C. Go back to this. Delete that one. Paste it in. Perfect. There we go. And with our smart guides, we should be able to pretty quickly just kind of line that up and then scale this to fit. All right, so you do that for all your designs. So you have your pathing, your music icons, logos, entangle, blah, 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 blah. That's my tear sheet. All right, I mean, there's stuff inside there. So that's fine. Everything else will be perfect fit inside of these boxes. You will type your name here. So obviously you will not put your name, you will put your own name. Right? So don't put your name like I just had your name because that would be silly. Put your actual name. You can change the font if you want, but make sure that I have that font. Right? And if you're not sure about it, so let's say that I picked this font here because it's gorgeous, and I want to make sure that stays like that, I go up to type and I say create outlines. Okay? So that way it's not editable anymore, so someone can't come into it and change the look of it, but anyone on any Illustrator will be able to see it. Okay, and that's the most important part at this juncture. And that goes true for any of these fonts here. If you use a fancy font in one of these, just make sure you've created outlines. Otherwise, I won't be able to see that it has a fancy font. Okay, so that's it. Just load your stuff in here, give it a name. You don't need to have, yeah, whatever. You don't need to have the actual guides in there in the end one because it'll be pretty obvious. So you can delete them. I just left these little things here. You don't need to have the background thing in there, so that'll be, oops, that'll all be gone. Okay, I like to have just those boxes there because it really helps you kind of lay it out beforehand. I'll throw that on a different layer, but there we go. Okay, so when you're done, you'll have your name and you'll have all these glorious pieces of artwork lined up here. Okay, and it'll be awesome because you'll be able to see here's what we started with, you know, 7-ish weeks ago, and then in that time we learned about some shapes, we've learned about paths, the pen tool, we've learned about clipping masks, making patterns, making brushes, we've learned how to shade things, how to color things, we've learned how to apply it across a variety of different methods. So it really helps you prepare for a lot of the stuff that's going to be coming up in future MACA classes. So awesome. So that's your infographic, or your tear sheet. So save it as your last name _ tear sheet. Put it in the appropriate folder. So put it into your Dropbox tear sheet folder. And then make sure everything else is there. Make sure you have your daily drawings for every day loaded in there, because this is the week that I'm going to go through and start checking those, or start inputting the grades into the book. Make sure everything else is loaded inside of your other things too. Make sure you've gone through and checked your grade to make sure that you see this is out of 5, I have 5. This is out of 7, I have 7. This is out of 10, I don't have anything. Uh-oh. Oh, I forgot to turn it in. You know, sometimes that happens for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. Make sure you've answered discussion board questions. And then the final thing that I would like turned in, we can make a new Dropbox folder here. And I'm going to call this Going Beyond. Okay, now we talked about this at the beginning and we've mentioned it throughout. What we do to go beyond stuff. So if you opened up WordPad or TextEdit or any kind of typing application, and basically write down what you've done beyond the assignment. Okay, now if you've done nothing beyond the assignment, then you can leave this blank. Okay, you can just leave that folder blank, or say I did not go beyond any assignment. That way I know you've at least done something to recognize you haven't done anything. Okay, but if you did other stuff, just to give you kind of like what other people have done, some people have done. So like for the pathing assignment, I did multiple colors schemes. Okay, for the music icons, I did an extra 3 rows. I used a variety of colors. For the character, I did 2 characters. For the logo design, I did the ones part of the assignment, and also designed a couple extra pieces. Okay, so you'll list out all the stuff that you did that was extra, that was going beyond. We talked about some of the other stuff, like for the character. Oops, I did 2 characters. One was from the internet. One was from my own design. Okay, and the same thing with the vector poster. I did my own design for this infographic. I researched brain learning and used my own design for this assignment. Okay, so these are all the things that I did above and beyond the assignment. Remember, on each one of the assignment, I mentioned something that was a way that you can go beyond that assignment. Okay, so have that in there too, and label it your last name underscore going beyond, and put it into the appropriate folder. Okay, and then that should be it. Yep, that should be it. Once we have the stuff done, once the week is done, so on the typically around the 13th, 14th, the 15th, this is when I'm going to start going through and grading all the stuff that I have so far, because these last 2 assignments are kind of a week and a half bunched together for each. So I'll start grading all of those. So we should have grades turned in by the 18th. Okay, so by the 18th you should be able to look on WebAdvisor or MyMacomb and see what grades you have inside there. And if there are any questions, just let me know. Okay, better to ask beforehand. So if you check it throughout the weekend and you see, hey, he still doesn't have any grade for the vector poster, and I know I turned that in, well, ask, because sometimes it does get deleted on accident or whatever. All right, I hope you enjoyed the class. I look forward to seeing you in future courses. Illustrator is a great program. It's great for the beginner and the advanced student. I recommend people taking this multiple times, especially if you are near graduation and you've forgotten some of the techniques. It's important to stay up on top of this, because Illustrator is one of those tools that you should be using throughout your career. Like, there's so many applications that you can use Illustrator for. And the tools from this will blend into Photoshop, will blend into InDesign, will blend into 3D, will blend into video. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to kind of stay on top of, but it's on you to make sure that you are staying on top of it. Okay? So any questions, let me know. Have fun with it.